Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. It's the new season of the Jack Ashton Racing and the Novice Racer, but this time we're not doing the Ferrari Challenge. No. We have gone to the McLaren GT3 World Tour, and it's round one from Imola. I'm JP. I'm going to be joined in the booth by Olaf Waspenkampf, who's going to come along for the ride for this season. Now, what have we got in store for you this season? Well, it's going to be very, very interesting indeed. We have got round one at Imola. Round two at Le Mans, yes, the long circuit. Round three will be at Daytona. Round four will be Parfitt. I'm sure that's not going to be chaotic. Round five will be Brands Hatch. That will be in the rain. Round six will be Suzuka at night. That's going to be interesting because I don't think Suzuka's got lights, if I'm not mistaken. Round seven will be at Algarve, and the fun race will be announced as well, where it's not a championship race. Cars, McLaren 720S GT3 Evo, fixed setups, 1 hour practice, 10 minutes qualifying for 2 flying laps, 20 minutes for race 1 and a 5-minute warm-up, and then a 20 minutes for race 2. We're at full reverse grid. If you want to get yourselves involved, you can. All Discord links down below, and you can come along and have some fun with us as well here on a Sunday, as we've just entered into qualifying. See times on the left-hand side at this moment in time. Lesser out in front on a 1:41.569, half a second ahead of Knox there as well. But listen, you don't want to just listen to me throughout this whole of this broadcast. Let's bring Olaf into the booth. Olaf, welcome in, dear sir. How are you?
Good afternoon, Jack. I am James. Sorry, I saw Jack on the screen. It's,
no
wrong names, getting my J's mixed up. Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. Not bad for a Sunday, considering, you know, I don't need to really be surprised over here in the UK. It's actually raining once again. I don't know why that's a shock to anybody. But yeah, all good. What do we think? It's going to be a very interesting one for me. An opening race at Imola. Not normally a circuit that's a circuit opener. They normally chuck it in the middle of the circuit, in the middle of the calendar and stuff. But it's still going to be very difficult for these drivers to get to grips with in a new car, of course, in the McLaren.
Well, I'm sure they've all practiced plenty enough on this track and the car, of course. I mean, the track's a classic. Imola is a great racing track. Got classic corners, Acqua Minerale. You got some chicanes in there as well, a hairpin. It's just a great track all around to drive at. And these cars, yeah, they'll have to get used to it, going from the Ferraris onto the McLarens. But these cars are somewhat my specialty. I love driving them, and I'm sure the racing here will be fantastic because I've done plenty of races around this track with this car. And yeah, we're going to get some close racing. It's going to be difficult to overtake, but I'm very curious to see what kind of spicy moves we're going to see in places where we don't really expect it.
Okay, so where are we expecting this move's going to happen? Because normally, you know, Gressin is a chicane that can take place as turn 14 and 15. Acqua Minerale, if you're really brave, you might be able to have a go there. But I find it's going to be interesting if they can get... Whoa, that's not how we do that, Mr. Andy Pratt, sorry. But the run out of the final corner down into the Tamburello. Now, that would be a good shout for places, but are they going to be able to get the drive off the final corner?
Well, I think the slipstream is going to play in very well there. It's aerodynamic cars, of course, these GT3s. I think if they run it properly out of the final corner, you're close enough. You can get the proper slipstream. It's a very, very long run, like you said, from the final corner to the first chicane. A pretty big braking zone as well, because they're reaching the top speeds there. 260, 270. I think they reached the 280 maybe, if we're lucky. Depending on the setup, of course. I haven't seen the setup myself, but we'll see that happening around the race, or at least around qualifying. They'll definitely get a good run into turn 1, and then of course we have the second chicane. If, you know, some cars like to defend throughout the first chicane, then they get a very bad run out of the final corner. It's a 3-turn, left, right, left. If you mess up the first turn, you'll mess up the second and the third as well. You have a bad exit, and the driver behind can just line it up for the second chicane as well. That might happen. Then there's the hairpin, which is always going to be a good place. You know, big braking zone, slow speeds. Good stuff happening there. Acqua Minerale, I don't think we're going to see anything. And the final chicane is also kind of difficult to overtake in, as it's very tight on the right hand. It's a very small part of the circuit as well. And the final two corners are, of course, classic to overtaking as well.
Yeah, let's have a look at the grid, ladies and gentlemen, for race number 1. Francisco Lesser is on pole position with Ian Knox alongside Vinicius Valdez. Oh, I couldn't do this last year either. Vinicius there in 3rd, Andy Pratt in 4th, Steve Webb in 5th, George Metakos in 6th, Stuart Brereton in 7th, Tom Weston in 8th, then Major Casterman or Major Castleman, shall we say, in 9th, Gaetano Cesare in 10th, Darrell or Hayden Britton actually is in 11th, and Garrett Kinney down in 12th place there as well. On from that is Luke Edwards, Trey Lambrecht, Jerry Werner, Eric Orchin, Parker Enquist, Josh Taylor, Reese Bartlett, Nick Green, Carl Cookson, Jerome Wolf, Mark Miller, and Timothy Wildbrow round out the end. It's going to be very interesting. Last season they did a standing start with the Ferrari. It does look like they're going to go with a standing start again here. This is going to be an interesting launch in a GT3 on a standing start. Well, I don't know how this is going to go, but we are going to find out very, very shortly, ladies and gentlemen, how this one is going to happen. But hold on to your hats. We're just waiting for the lights to come on now, and then it's going to be green, green, green for the opening round of this one. Let's see how these guys get on. Is Francisco Lester going to get away right at the start there? Once again, there's a few people to get onto the grid. Thomas Weston and Parker Enquist are making these guys wait. I will say they've got about 30 seconds to get on to the grid. And let's see how they go. Just waiting for Tom Weston now. Andy Pratt leading the Pro-Ams, of course, at this moment in time. Edwards leading the AMs. Pros in purple, Pro-Ams in yellow, AMs in turquoise green, if you want to be precise about it. I'm sure somebody will correct me if they tell me it's a different colour. But here we go, all drivers onto the grid. It's going to be lights out. It is going to be a standing start. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Ladies and gentlemen, the opening round is green, green, green. You can see GT3s are not used to standing starts. Claims that P1, but it's always going to be difficult when you go standing start in a GT3. Lester now in second place. Francisco Valdez leads the way down into Tamburello here, coming down into Villeneuve, and that standing start, Olaf, caused some problems because not a lot of drivers went anywhere.
There's a lot of shuffling for what I can see. I see Medicals down 17, Pratt down 20 places in the Pro-Ams, all the way down to 23rd and 24th. Castleman and Lambrecht currently fighting. Castleman dropping down the order, currently fighting with Werner. This is up to 12th place, the lowest of the pros at the moment. Not a very good start from Lessa, so down to 2nd place now. Definitely still close enough to try and get an overtake done, but lots of drivers down into the lower places where they actually started up quite high. So you can see Medicals and Pratt both 22nd and 23rd. It's not a great start, lots of shuffling. No one, Cookson is the only driver standing still in the place where they already were from the start. So there's only one driver that's kept their place and everyone else has shuffled around.
Yeah, Andy Pratt is down the order because of this. He went off at the opening turn. Is he going to go round as well? He is. Unfortunately for Pratt, round he goes. And George Medicos also went off, not far behind him. And there's Medicos spinning down, also hit the barrier as well. There's been a couple of others that have taken diversions. Mark Miller has also had a crash here. Unfortunately for Miller, it's not really been good. Opening run there, you see them having a fight. That's Nick Green on the inside. I've got a funny feeling your back end's coming round. There we go. On that one, dear sir, you want to lay off the power, but Lesser out in front with Valdez at this moment in time. They're leading away. Who's leading where in classes? Valdez leading Pro, Edwards leading AMs, Western leading Pro-Ams currently at the moment. Edwards is up 8 places, a massive gain for that AM, leading the way here as well. But some interesting battles going to happen here, Olaf. I don't think this is quite going to be done all the way as they're on their run down into Tosa.
Yeah, like I said, it's a very difficult track to overtake, and this is the hairpin that they just exit out of. Aqua Minerale coming up next. Don't think the overtake's going to happen until next lap. We might have a run into the first turn. The setups are fixed, so there's not really anything to gain in terms of high or low downforce setups. So everyone has to do it on merit, on that run, down to turns, on exits, trying to put the pressure on the driver ahead, because there's no way you can get any benefit out of setups. And I feel like some drivers have already felt that fixed setup doing something to them. So we saw some drivers spinning out on corner exits. They might have expected a bit more rear grip where there actually wasn't any because of these setups, and that's where all the spins can obviously come from. There's a few drivers already in the pits. We saw one hitting the rear on the barriers, a few saves as well, not really into the barriers. Yellow flag as well for Green, just got cleared as he's lost the position to Wolf now.
Yeah, this is Trey Lambrecht. He's been up to something here because he goes off. Somebody else then hits him. That's Major Castleman has also hit him, and both of them have ended up in pit road. So unfortunately for them, bad news. Reece Bartlett's got to slow down currently at the moment. That's what the yellow flag means. He's got to try and get it off. He's going to play the patiently game of trying to drive and reduce a slowdown at the same time. It does look like, unfortunately, that Carl Cookson's also been off the circuit. Nick Green's also been off. Aaron Smith has also been off as well. There's a couple of people taking diverts here, Olaf. Not really been able to manage this currently at the moment. And is this opening round jitters, do we think?
That might just be, because Castleman, from what I could see, was just a passenger in that incident. A driver goes off, tries to do something fancy. We saw Stroll yesterday in qualifying in Formula 1, touching the grass on the brakes. It's just not going to help you stop going off the track, but then trying to rejoin as other drivers are trying to take the inside line through the corner. Castleman was just a passenger there. Could not have expected anyone to rejoin on the apex of a corner, of all places. So the damage definitely not happy to be there. Quite far behind as well now. As we can see, still in the pits, getting those repairs done, and that might just be his first race over. And jitters, I think they might all just have them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the opening round. You want to do well. Valdez and Lesser here as well. Don't forget Valdez jumped Lesser at the start, but now Knox is on the show as well. The Australian is coming full bore currently at the moment. Ian Knox on the run down into Ravata. It's a double left-hander, and it's not the most easiest to get right either, trust me. But then again, I suck at driving, so they probably make it easier than I do. Through the final corner they go. Now it's going to be this run down into Tamburello. Who's going to be able to get this one all the way down? Is it going to be a double draft for Ian Knox? Is he going to take a 3-in-1? We're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen, as they start heading down now. It's going to be Lesser that's going to be the man under attack. Knox is going to be, is he going to be later on the brakes? He hasn't got far to go. And that, Olaf, alone shows us that that draft is not that strong unless you're inside 2.5 tenths.
I do think that Knox was a little bit scared there. He had the run, he had the space. Lesser left the door all the way open in what I believe to be a pretty big braking zone. But Knox is not going for it, braking way earlier. We saw him knock out there as Valdez goes very slowly towards the inside of the track. Lesser going around the outside. Can make that stick though. Does go side by side after the hairpin, and it does look like Lesser is going back in the lead.
Yeah, just seeing it there as well. Lesser now takes back the lead, but Valdez is not going to give this up any easier than Ian Knox is going to give it up at the moment either. Steve, we've still got an am ahead of the Pro-Ams at the moment. Now Edwards is still ahead in 5th place. Oh! Valdez is out! Big slide, and I think there was contact. Valdez Vinicius has gone off the side of the circuit, but how much contact was there from Ian Knox here? We'll try and get in a little bit close. I think there definitely was there, Olaf, and I've got a funny feeling I'm not sure Knox had anywhere to go.
I mean, when a slide like that happens, you have to slow down as the following car. Either go towards the side, which, there wasn't that much room at the exit of Alco Minerale there, but if a car in front of you slides and slows down, it's your responsibility to take avoiding action, because as a slider, you can't do anything but try and get control of the car. And if Knox just humps into the back of him, I don't think there's much that Valdez could do there. And unfortunately, I will have to wait until the stewards decide what the issue is with there and who gets the blame for this incident. It's just unfortunate for Valdez trying to fight back, gaining 2 places at the start, a fantastic jump on 2 cars, and then dropping all the way back to 11. It's not what you want in your race in the season opener.
You wonder though whether Knox had anywhere to go. That's my only fear on that. Knox wasn't prepared for him to slide. Did he have anywhere to go? Edwards has got to slow down. He's trying to get that off at the moment. Brereton was having a nice little battle with Hayden Bridden here as well. In through the left-hander of Tozer they go. Now it's the run up into Piratella, and I do say up because they have got to go up here. So it's going to be an interesting fight what's happening. Andy Pratt has just gone past Valdez. At the same time, I think Valdez is carrying damage here once again. Edwards cannot get that slowdown off, dear sir. You do need to get it off very, very shortly, because I can tell you one thing, between you and Jerry Verner, there you go. Edwards did get it off. Jerry Verner now trying to do the same thing. Carl, welcome into YouTube chat there, buddy. Hope you are well. Do we think the problem I find with this is I don't know if Knox had anywhere really to go. Was he too close to Valdez to be able to avoid this? Oh, he didn't have anywhere to go. I'm sorry, Olaf. He didn't have anywhere to go there for Ian Knox. I think it was just too close.
From the sound of it, it sounded like he was still full throttle as Valdez was sliding. And I do think that if you see a car slide in front of you, at least you lift off, if not brake, if you see a car coming close to you. It's going to be up to the stewards. I mean, we both have different views of it, and I believe that the drivers will have as well. And one thing that does surprise me a lot, Edwards in the AMs, currently 4th, ahead of all the Pro-Ams and some of the pros as well. So he's doing a fantastic job keeping that up in 4th, even with the slowdown that he's had. He's kept the gap behind a little bit taller than he should, than he needs to at the moment. Like you said, the slipstream only possible within a few tenths, as we see Brereton going off the track from dropping down.
Stuart Brereton unfortunately went off the side of the circuit. He's on that run down into turn number 1. He's going to hit the curb on the way out. Pop, there we go, and around you go. That's going to unsettle that McLaren, and the McLaren says, no, I do not like that, dear sir. As Edwards now having a go at Western. There is class changes, Olaf. They have mentioned that they would look at closing, moving around classes due to the fact of this situation. Clearly, Edwards is not an AM, and I wouldn't be surprised if it came up that next week he's going to be a Pro-Am or a Pro, to be honest with you.
Yeah, his car says student driver, but from the looks of it, he's anything but. He did lose the place now to Weston. Weston did close the gap. I saw that 2/10 at some point, and then he's just a slipstream down to a big braking zone, getting the position. And I do believe that Edwards, with this result, maybe he'll need one more to prove himself, because if you look at Castleman, you'd say a pro that far down the order, you're going to bump him down a class, but that was pure on accident, something that he really couldn't do anything about. Of course, being up in the front is something that you can do something about, and Edwards is doing that quite nicely. But I believe the host might be, organizers might be looking a little bit further into the future, might be wanting 1 or 2 more races to see, are we really going to bump up this AM to the Pro-Ams, because he's currently fighting, and we'll see what he does in turn 1.
Absolutely. Is he going to make any moves? He's not. Now, there is an interesting battle taking place down here. Tim Wybrow, Mark Miller and Jerry Werner. Now, they were connected to this battle of Reece Bartlett, Nick Green, George Metakos and Carl Cookson. You can see there a very damaged-looking Cookson. I'm not entirely sure what he has done, but whatever he has done, he is producing a massive airflow in the front of that McLaren. Their full cooling system, but you can also see he's losing bucket loads of speed on the straight, as these guys now are fighting it out here once again. Miller in behind Wybrow, in behind Werner. They're all having their own. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that, Mr. Miller. That we have seen people go round, but it's nice to see that we've got battles all the way through the field, Olaf, and not just at the front.
Yeah, I'm just curious why Cookson is not going into the pits. Of course, you're going to have a lot of cooling for the engine if you're running like this without the front bumper, without the front anything. But yeah, you're losing just so much time on this. Look at the speed there. He's already lost 3 seconds down to the cars ahead that are fighting currently. As Smith is also going slowly, as you can see on the screen here. Werner also passed.
Smith just crashed. Smith just crashed, unfortunately, by the looks of it. I'm wondering how much damage he actually did here. Well, clearly it was on his own. Oh, dude, you're carrying too much. Back ends round. Thank you very much. Cannot treat the McLaren like that. It will not play nicely, and it will not hold. But that's the reason why Smith is going down. But this is the reason why Miller and Wybrow are going side by side. Into the right hand, are aggressing at the moment. Miller goes through. Great job there. I'm gonna say, Olaf, highly assisted by Tim Wybrow. Tim did not put them side by side into that chicane, which I am quite surprised about. Jerry Ryan's trying to make his way back through the field, and Aaron Smith and Reece Bartlett are now going to have a bit of a battle in their process. That's the thing with that chicane, it had to be assisted, and Tim Wybrow assisted that move.
I do think it's good for Smith that he's back into this fight. Saw him overtake Bartlett already, on his way to maybe catch a slipstream here on the straight. A big pack here on the start-finish straight. Valdez is dropping down the order though, currently 15th, and he's having an issue as well, because he's dropped about 3 places already. The gap is increasing, and he, is going very slowly, and that's apparently another first chicane kind of move, and the entire grid is already closing in.
Was this him though? Was there space? Was there not space? And was it given? This is going to be the question. I think the problem with that is that car hit the curb on the inside and that bounced him over away from where he is. Hendrik, hey guys, how you doing? I'm doing very well, thank you. Is everyone driving a fixed setup? Yes, sir, they are. So more contact with Valdez. He is getting punched around like a punch bag at his affair here at the moment here, Olaf. As if he's just one of them machines that you smack as hard as you can and see what number you get.
I feel like Valdez is just very unlucky with today's race. I do think that the turn one, the first chicane incident, just a matter of two cars trying to occupy the same space, trying to get the perfect setup, perfect run through that chicane, as he's looking for something but doesn't really get it. The car looks a little bit unstable. Maybe the contact has shoved some metal out of place. Maybe he's just, locked the tires on trying to stop the slide, damaged him a bit on the off track. It's just not that great on the track at the moment. Only 6 minutes remaining, so he can be relieved from all the pressure that he's getting from behind now. But I do think Valdez is just a little bit of a victim here from the first incident, because that wouldn't have put him in this situation otherwise, and he would have been way out at the front, fighting with the guys, fighting with the pros, and not within this massive pack that's just trying to get past each other. Smith is going to look for a good run.
I'm going to say something that might be a little bit controversial here, but there's no surprise coming out of my mouth, to be honest. I know how quick Valdez is, and we've seen how quick he is. But he's so close to the back end of the full reverse grid to start from pole. Would he play the game and go backwards to last place to get the pole position? I know he's got to go a lap down for Castleman and Lambrecht, so I don't know if he's going to go that far back. But he could go to 23rd, still be on the lead lap, but he would be on the second row.
Well, I think if you take home P18 or around P17, 18, that's really the back that he's fighting in. If you take home these places, you get some points on the board. And with the reverse grid, you know who you've got ahead of you. It's some AMs, some Pro-Ams, and then there's Castleman, of course, in the pros who had that incident on the first few laps. I do think that Valdez can... He's kept it right. He's kept it the right way, though. He's kept it the right way. But I do think he's struggling very hard with this car. Like, this is not normal behavior. And he's dropped down to 21st. It's going to be P5 on the start for race number 2 with that full reverse grid. And maybe it's going to be his play.
He's broken. Look at his steering. No, not this bit. Watch on a straight. The steering goes right hand down to get that car to go straight. Hendrik, you reach out to Jack Ashton or Nick Green, just to let you know. He is broken. This is the problem with this car at the moment in time. We're going to see it here. Go straight, but look, we're slightly right hand down there. He has got damage on that car, Valdez. So if anybody thinks he is sandbagging, well, he probably, I don't know if he is, but he's driving with a broken car currently at this moment in time. So that's probably where that's happening at this current moment. Now, further up the field, of course, as you can see, Andy Pratt is having a nice little go over Parker Enquist, and he's going to go up the inside of Parker in Tozer. And Tozer, I don't think Parker's going to much fight that one on the exit, because he even at the moment is trying to stay ahead of Jerome Wolf. But as I say that, Parker decides to get the bit between his teeth through the left-hander of Piratella. Pratt comes out in the front of them. Now heading down into the right-hander here, of course, of Aqua Minerale. And I don't think Enquist is going to be able to do anything about that. However, Tom Weston is trying to do something up here at the moment, but he's got Hayden Britton, Garrett Kinney, Josh Taylor, and Gaetano Cesare, who, unfortunately, Josh Taylor has just spun it there, Olaf, as well.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of spins on the exit of corners. Don't think these drivers are all happy with that fixed setup. They might have had a little bit more that they wanted out of it. Britton now getting an overtake done here on turn 1. That's nice. Nice job there. We also see Smith with the slowdown as Bartlett does go down the order. And the thing that I'm curious about, that I've been looking at for now, is the top 2. We see Lessa and Knox both still in the same order that they were in.
Yeah, they are actually. Bartlett unfortunately does go round there as well. I think that was the leaders going through. It was the leaders going through, because there is Lesser and Knox. Currently on the one down, integressing here, the right, left. Chicane to get right. We've got 1 minute 47. It's going to be the final lap next time around, Olaf? And do we think Nox is going to be able to get there to get this win away from Lesser?
Well, you said you need to be within a few tenths, 2 or 3 tenths to be able to do so. Nox has the half a second. He's just a tiny bit more from this final run. Get into the slipstream and maybe do something into turn 1. Goes onto the grass, that's a little bit too wide, loses the time, and I don't think it's going to be it.
Yeah, I don't think Nox is going to be able to get there. I think Lesser will take the win in race number 1. Over the line, Barney waving the white flag. Britain's having a nice little battle there with Western as well, by the looks of it. But I think Lesser, as he comes into Tamburello, is going to take this victory in race number 1. Now the question will be, what's he going to be able to do from the back? It's Hayden Britton and Tom Weston and Barton Leonard out for the Pro-Am win here. Through the right-hander kink they go, in down to Tamburello. You see Britain's pulled out. Weston's going to be on the inside. Is he going to hold that? They're going to door bang all the way down. No quarter given. I think Weston manages to hold on. Hayden Britton now has got Garrett Kinney tucked in behind him as well. He goes from battling for the lead to battling for the final podium spot here for Hayden Britton. But at the moment, Lesser is on his run down into Aqua Minerale for the final time. We'll keep an eye on him as well. Hayden Britton's not happy there, Olaf, because of the lights flashing. But does he have the right to not be happy?
Well, I think that was just an inside run that didn't go as he planned. It might just be a little bit mad or frustrated, but I do think Weston defended that quite well. Did the perfect run into the first chicane to create that gap behind, and now Britain's got Kinney right behind him to get that pressure off of Weston, and he's basically got the Pro-Am lead and the victory for the Pro-Am already set. Britain now trying to have to defend only one chicane, 2 big braking zones coming up, and he might just keep this if he keeps his head cool.
Yeah, and into the final corner goes Lesser. He is going to take that victory over Nox here. Nox gives him a flash of the lights. He says, thank you very much, good race. But Francisco Lesser takes the victory. Winner for him. Luke Edwards is going to wrap up the AMS. I don't know for how much longer he's going to stay there, but Luke Edwards at this moment is going to come over the line, takes that win in the AMS. Great fight. You can see in the background, Weston is trying to get that machine round that final quarter for Ravazza. Edwards over the line. Here comes Weston. He manages to hold on to the Pro-Ams here with Hayden Britton in second and Gaetano Chedre in third. Josh Taylor and Garrett Kinney. Whatever happened to Kinney, we will find out very shortly. Mark Miller having a nice little go with Eric Orchard coming into Ravazza. Nice win from Lesser for the opening round. Nox in second. But was it more of a missed opportunity for Valdez, who just seemed to be everybody's pinball here in race number 1?
I do think he had a very good run. Of course, lost the lead as Lesser got the overtake done, but was still in the run for second place. Definitely a podium from the looks of it. But in the end, like you said, just being that pinball, just being pushed around in places, getting a little slide on as well. Later on in Aqua Minerale on the exit, where he got hit by Nox a few laps before. Got to be starting from P6 on the reverse grid. Maybe he can try and get a victory from there. Looking at the order, Castleman is going to make it difficult. But the real task is going to be for Lesser, Nox, and Webb, our podium for the pros, trying to make it all the way from the back into some better point scoring positions.
Yeah, absolutely. It does look like Jerome Wolf has gone over the line with a penalty, so I'm going to be very interested to see where he ends up in the results standings here, because there's normally a 40-second penalty for not getting whatever it was off here. Let's bring you up the results of race number 1. Thank you. Francisco Lesser is your winner in the pros. Ian Knox is second and Steve Webb round out third. Luke Edwards winning the AMS. Thomas Weston winning the Pro-Ams with Hayden Britton and Gaetano Chedre in seventh. Once you're 1, 2, 3 in your Pro-Ams. Then Josh Taylor, Garrett Kinney, Stuart Bridton and Andy Pratt. Parker Enquist down in 12th, grabs second in the AMS with Eric Orchard in third. Then Mark Miller, Jerry Werner, Timmy Wybrow, Aaron Smith and Carl Cookson. Your top 18. Valdez down in 19th. George Metakos, Reese Bartlett, Nick Green, Jerome Wolf, Major Castleman and Trey Lambrecht rounds out the 25 here once again. Are we going to have people that are unhappy with race number 1 trying to come back and have a go in race number 2, do you think? Or how do we reckon they're going to cope with race number 2, being that they're going to be right at the back of the grid effectively?
We did see Wolf. He did mention that penalty. He got dropped all the way back, just in front of the back markers. Dan, were down a lap because they pitted on the first few laps. That means Valdez has got another place down, starting in P7. He's definitely not going to be happy with how race 1 went. He's going to try and get the revenge, trying to get the run on to the second race, trying to get to see if he can get that podium back, or at least lead the pros, because he's got Castleman to pass as well, trying to get onto those higher positions. And I do believe some of the AMs that were further back are going to try and fight those off, because it is 4th position. You're allowed to defend. You're allowed to do anything as long as you don't, purposely knock out the drivers off. But you're allowed to defend as a back marker now. And that's something that, of course, Castleman is going to be very happy with, starting, I believe, 2nd place.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think they have to be... I think some of the AMs have got to go for it. I think some of the AMs have got to go for it here as well. They're going to make use of that position. They're going to make use of the fact that they're going to be a little bit further up. Have a go. If you don't have a go, what's the actual point in racing? Now, for me, I would be, blocking all the way over. I would be making it as difficult as possible for people. So, I think that's the thing. I just want to see the AMs having a good old go, having a good old fight, and making use of being where they are up the front, because it doesn't come to by. Opportunities like this doesn't come by every time. And I think that's the important thing for these guys. Have a good old go.
Yeah, and I think the one AM driver that really has to watch out is Edwards. I believe he got 5th or 6th place, 5th, I believe, in that first event, which means he starts about 20th, 21st. In that second race, as he got into those high positions. And he had a very good qualifying, put it up very high on the grid. Start was great. He had some positions gained, of course, with a position gain with Valdez dropping all the way behind because of those incidents, which means that he now has to start all the way back, but he does have to show the pace to be able to get back up those positions. He got this one by getting a good qualifying run and defending on a track that is difficult to overtake on. We saw most overtakes being done with those incidents happening. And now he's got to start from all the way in the back with even faster lads right behind him that are trying to overtake him as well while going through the order. So Edwards might be able to follow them through, lead them through, or hold them up. So that's going to be the wild card, I believe, for the second race.
I agree. I think Edwards is going to be in a very interesting scenario here once again, and we're going to find out how he's going to get on very, very shortly. We're just into that 5-minute warm-up. We've got 1 minute 18 to go. If you do want to get yourselves involved, you can join down in the Discord below. I will say one thing. You've got to learn how to get a McLaren off the line, as it is as we found out, not a rolling start. It is a standing start. So they've got to make sure that you can get that McLaren off the line here as well. I think that's one of the hardest things to do, because we don't see GT3s standing starts normally.
No, usually these cars have a rolling start. You start off stationary off the grid, do a formation lap, and after that have a set speed limit, follow the speed limit, lights go green, you all go. So starting from that first gear, usually very difficult for these GT3 cars. The McLaren isn't very good at those. Like we saw, of course, lots of drivers having wheel spin, trying to lose the rear, as we also saw with the curves, some of the spins. Usually all were, I think most of them were just rear grip incidents where they just lost it all. That's going to be very difficult for this as well. It's a mid-engine car, mid-rear somewhat. So it's not fully rear-engined. So that means that the grip on the rear is going to be bad as well. You can't change the setup to give you that extra advantage on the start to be able to get those positions, get those extra little bits of grip. So these standing starts are going to be very, very difficult for the drivers to get right.
And absolutely. And if you know iRacing, ladies and gentlemen, you know there's a wonderful new GT3 tyre model. Yes, that's come into force as well. That takes about 2 or 3 laps for the cars to actually get these cars up to temperature. So that's also going to be playing into a part once again. Grid for round number 2, race number 2. Trey Lambrecht on pole, Major Castleman in 2nd, Jerome Wolf 3rd, Nick Green 4th, Reece Bartlett 5th, George Metakos in 6th, Valdez in 7th, Carl Cookson 8th, then Aaron Smith, Timmy Wybrow, Jerry Werner and Mark Miller all rounding out the top 12. Eric Orchin, Parker Enquist, Andy Pratt, Stuart Britton, Garrett Kinney, Josh Taylor, Gaetano Cesare, Hayden Britton, Tom Weston, Luke Edwards, Steve Webb and Ian Knox right down at the back, with Francisco Lesser in behind that as well. A lot of people out ready to go here once more. hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen, because race 2 is going to be just about as spicy as race number 1, especially with them faster cars coming through the order. There's the lights. Let's see how this goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Race number 2. Another 20 minutes is green, green, green. You can see them all trying to get the GT3s going. It's almost like watching the pedaling along. Ah, there's crashing on the straight. Cesare and Hayden Britton, they've already had some drama, so we didn't even get down into turn number 1. There's more there as well. Lesser's been involved. He's down at the order right at the back at the moment. There's been some drama on the straight right at the beginning. But Trey Lambrecht out in front as a Pro-Am. Jerome Wolf in second. And then it's Screen, Cosimo, Valdez and Werner. He has been a very off start here, Olaf. There's a couple of people that have crashed already. Cesare in pits, Hayden Britton in pits, and they didn't even make it down into turn number 1.
I think it was a very good start there for Green. He got 2 places up to the lead and lost it, as Lambrecht is doing a very good job as a Pro-Am to defend his lead that he has. Just leaving off the screen there, Wolf gaining 1 place, Castleman dropping down 1, Valdez up to Werner up 5 places, and we see Knox gaining 8 spots. So from the back of the grid, 24th place up to 16th at the moment. Knox is right behind Pearson, 2 pros. They're absolutely smashing it, going all the way up. But Lessa still in 21st, got 2 places, because of course we have those 2 drivers into the pits that aren't really doing that well hot right now. So we're going to see on the replay what happened with them. And Lessa running 20th, 5 places up.
Oh, look. Oh. Lessa ends up going off. Oh, he's practically at a standstill into turn number 1. Didn't really go anywhere, but that's how Cesare and Britton ended up in pit lane. But look at Trey Lambrecht, 2 seconds out in front of the Castleman. Jerome Wolf having a good old go as well. Another round fight here, leading the arms at the moment is Wolf. But it's been a very active opening lap here, I should say. Miller's got a meatball, so he's had some very bad dramatics. Oh, there's somebody else just got absolutely flying off. That's Jerome Wolf. Jerome Wolf went off so badly, he went off into the Shadow Realm, and the game instantly kicked him out. What did you do, and was there contact here for Mr. Wolf? Oh, he's sliding, he's sliding, he's sliding. In he goes, bang. Unfortunately for Jerome Wolf, that's another one. Ian Knox is in pit lane. There has been a lot of dramatics going on over these few laps here, Olaf. I don't even know if we're going to be able to keep up with this.
Well, I mean, there's 5 drivers currently into the pits. I believe some of them already talking themselves out of this race, saying that this is over. This is Knox. I do think he can get back into it. That's a big bang there on the off track of the final chicane. That is something you don't want to see, of course. Let's see what the replay has.
I'm not quite sure how he ended up there, mate. I've got to be honest. I'm going to try and find, because that's who he hit. Ah, now watch. There's Knox. Oh, bro. And then goes and punches him as well. So that's how that one happened. But Trey Lambrecht out in front by 1.9 seconds here at the moment, Olaf. If he's ever got a chance of winning a race this season, this is it.
Yeah, he's got a very good start. Got away with it quite well. Castleman still in second, almost 2 seconds back. I do think that incident on the exit of that final chicane, I don't think that's allowed to happen. If there's a car almost stationary on the off track and you're just full throttling into it, I think that's very difficult to do, and not to either slow down, or you have to see him, of course. If you're battling, of course, there's something going on, as there's a look on the inside, but just barely not taking McCastleman's Lambrecht.
That's a back marker.
Slow down.
Yeah. Cesare there, that is the back marker. I'm not quite sure why he practically stopped. I think he was waiting for people to go on the inside like he is there. I think that's what he was trying to do, but Trey Lambrecht, unfortunately, that for him has caused him some drama that's brought Castleman back into this fight. This is not something that Lambrecht wanted. He didn't need that, but unfortunately, well, saying that, Cesare's going round again in the corner of Toza, and he's just kind of sat there at the moment. But Trey Lambrecht is going to be under pressure for Castleman. Pratt's got himself a slowdown. That's going to be interesting to see if he can get that off before losing a place to Metakos and Smith. And it's all been very frantic over the first 5 minutes. But we kind of knew this was going to be coming, and I've got a funny feeling this could be the theme of the every single race going forward of the opening few laps, because They can't get the tyres warm. It takes 2 or 3 laps before they can start pushing here. So if you're excited and you push too quick, Olaf, you end up doing what we've seen over the first 3 laps, which, to be frantically honest with you, has just been a little bit carnage.
Yeah, I do think that one of these things that we've looked at, of course, in the little warm-up period, is that Valdas is currently in 3rd. He's up 4 places, started 7th, and he's now trying to fight his way upwards. He's gone already, gained about half a second to Castleman, who's now fighting with Lambrecht for the win, and we can see him there in the background. This is for the lead, still 14.5 minutes remaining. These two are battling. They're both going to be losing time, and Valdas is going to be very happy to take away some of those times, nip it away slightly, a little bit by bit, as Lambrecht is being pushed to his limits. A Pro-Am with a very fast Pro right behind him, and we can see the gap from Castleman to Valdas drop down little by little over the course of the next few laps, as Castleman is past.
Lambrecht.
That looked to be quite easy. Door open and pass done. Now Valdas is going to be setting his sights on Lambrecht as well, and then make his way onto Castleman, and hopefully, like we said, aim for that victory.
Do you know what we said before we started this race was we'd love to see the AMs or the Pro-Ams get their elbows out and give it some? Well, we didn't just see that. What we saw is Lambrecht rolling over like my dachshund, got his belly tickled here from Castleman because he just bullies him out. He doesn't try and stay in there. He doesn't try and put a defense in. And for me, I think as a you know, a wannabe champion as Trey Lambrecht probably is looking forward to, he's got to fight better than that. He's got to defend. It doesn't matter if it's Senna, Verstappen, Norris behind you or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Get your elbows out, give them a good old go, stick them up as high as possible and defend. And he just didn't do that. And is that where the difference between Castleman, who's a pro and wants to win every race, to Trey Lambrecht, who's not a pro and possibly just looking to win his class?
And I do think it shows that he is pushing in that final chicane. He went over the track limits. He's got the slowdown that he's taking now, and Valdas just easily taking away that position with the slowdown on that straight. And this just means that Valdas has got the place for free in second, 1.5 seconds behind Castleman. Can just clean air basically, because he knows that Lambrecht, like he saw from that overtake with Castleman, he's just not going to put up a fight. He's going to be staying behind. He's going to be following through the slipstream, maybe do something to catch the pace. But Valdas can just focus on hitting his corners, hitting the apexes, following his lines, getting the absolute best traction that he can get out of a corner, and chase down Castleman, while the rest behind him is just like Lambrecht is just going to stay right there.
That's what I mean. He's not going to do anything. Oh, Steve Webb. Big old snap from somebody in front there. I can fully... Oh, don't do that, boys. Jesus.
I was just about to compliment him for his evasive maneuver, because that was good reaction to steer out of the way of the car. Look at that. That is what's supposed to happen. And then the rejoin happens and just cuts across like the car isn't there. Hits it into the wall, gets double damage front and rear. See the front bumper being blocked there and the rear bumper absolutely falling off. So he's got massive damage. Not very happy with that. But that was a good response initially. Then just a bad cut across.
Oh, George. Wow. George Metakos just passed Bartlett there, and I think he just literally bullied Bartlett. I don't think Bartlett had a lot of time, a lot of reaction time there at all. But Bartlett is still leading the AMs. There's the groups on the left-hand side. You can see Castleman, Lambrecht, Bartlett leading the way. Pratt's in one of the closest battles with Jerry Werner in class at the moment. And this is in the Pro-Am fight here, of course, as these guys continue in the scrap. Jerry Werner, Andy Pratt, and Metakos running out as well. Metakos playing catch-up. Werner and Pratt side by side on the run down into turn number 1. Who's going to be able to get it here as well? Is it going to be Werner? No, it is going to be Pratt. Now Pratt's going to be under attack. He's got Werner. He's got Metakos coming at him, and just outside that is Joshy Taylor, who's not too far away either. So this could be a nice little tidy 4-car fight, but Taylor is also bringing Bartlett with him, so it'll be interesting to see how this one develops here.
And Edwards, who got 4th place in the first race, started off all the way in the back, is currently in 17th place and 4th in the AM class. So he has jumped up quite a few places, overtaken basically every single AM that's behind him. He has gone past, because of course he started last in the AM class. He's gotten past some of the Pro-Ams and even a Pro as well, and that was Knox, who, he started behind him, so that's not one that he overtook. But he's currently chasing down some cars ahead. The interval isn't that big, so he's got some pros ahead of him. So Edwards is doing a great job now as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Werner just rifled the nose off George Metakos there. And it was nearly all over before it even gone anywhere for Werner and Metakos, because they literally just chopped each other's nose off. Josh Taylor now is trying to get into the situation once again. But you can see Werner, Metakos side by side, the run down into Ravazza. Who's going to come out? It's going to be still Werner. Oh, he's gone in too deep. That was the end of that one. And now Metakos and Bartlett and Taylor have all gone through. And now Werner's gone and applied the power too quickly. And that one mistake has turned, well, I was going to say one small mistake, has now turned into one massive one. And Jerry Werner's dropped himself all the way down into 16th now. I think, no, maybe not. Yeah, he is, because there's Steve Webb riding behind in nearly 16th place. Just goes
I do
to
believe
show.
he's just a little bit too eager on that, too late on the brakes. I saw Metakos drop behind, and I thought maybe he'd brake too early, giving up the move, because he was on the inside. You have to brake a little bit earlier, but that was just absolutely crazy from Werner as he's going onto the inside, and there we have that eagerness again. He did get the overtake stuck here, small tap, good overtake from the looks of it, and now Webb's gone in trouble from Edwards behind. He's looking towards the inside. Does look to have a good run, but he's going to be going for it. He is.
Swing, Bannerman. Edwards just got rifled off there, and I think if we have a look at that, that is the biggest dose of the internet that may have just played a massive part in this, because I don't know how close they actually were. Oh no, there was contact, but I've got a funny feeling that was more Edwards trying to close the door on Webb there, Olaf, rather than the other way round. I think Webb was about as far right as he could be, and I think Edwards needs to learn to leave that door open just a little bit.
Yeah, I do think Edwards got more of a feedback from that tap than he should have gotten, which could have been the net go that you were talking about. But I do think that was just another case of two cars trying to inhabit the exact same space, and that never goes well. As Taylor makes up 2 places, Pratt and Metakos are dropping down the order, which doesn't look very good.
That's because he's there, I think. I think that between Andy Pratt and Oh, Pratt's already off, but who did he just get us? Was that him and... So Pratt's gone round. Stay where you are. Oh, he did. He held his brakes. Fair play. Chedjere, no. Now he goes off. Chedjere did not see him. You can't ask for any more, as Tim Wybrow's just dropped it as well somewhere. He's just gone down the order. When they slide, you hold your brakes. Exactly what Pratt did. Now it's down to everybody else to avoid him, which it doesn't look like Chedjere did, to be blatantly honest. I think he just smacked into the side of him.
I think that might have been Metakos actually, because he was the one dropping down the order, was without fight. And I did see that Pratt was, when spinning out, he went forwards just that tiny bit, and after that he was stationary. So maybe the car that hit him thought he's going to be, here he is, he's going to be stationary here, and then going forwards a tiny bit and then stationary. So maybe Metakos thought he's going to be rolling forward some more. I've got the space, because there's a car behind him that wanted to go around the outside of him as well, and didn't want to jump into one of the other cars. And unfortunately Pratt did follow the rules and held his brakes afterwards. The roll forward was just coincidental from the looks of it. Metakos absolutely slamming it into the rear there, just not trying to, inconvenience the car that's on his outside, and in the end, taking himself down. And currently he's in 18th place, not a place that you want to be. Pratt in 19th behind him, though. Kinney has to slow down, but this is the fight for the lead.
Yeah, I don't know how Valdez has just got Castleman that quickly. What has gone on the lap times here? They're very, 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 very close together. Look on lap 8. Castleman clearly had drama because he lost 1.5 seconds. That's where the confusion come from, because I was like, how did Valdez nearly make up nearly 2 seconds in the space of a lap? And it just goes to show on lap 8, Castleman 1.5 seconds slower than a Valdez, who's done a 1:41.832, fastest lap of the race. And that, Olaf, just goes to show one mistake can put you under pressure.
And this isn't just Castleman who went slowly. This is Valdez, who's just put up the pace, put up the pressure, and just piling this up lap after lap. We saw him 42.5, 42.4, and now he's into the 41s. That's absolutely quick. And he, like I said, he's just got Lambrecht behind him, knows that he's not going to overtake, knows that he's not even going to put up the pressure at all. Just happy to sit in third now. He's got a 10-second gap behind, happy to take home P3. But Valdez, what that means for him is that he doesn't have the pressure from behind, can look fully ahead of him. He had about 2 seconds. You know what? Let's just bump up the pace, see what we can do. And that's where these lap times are coming from. And then pair that with Castleman making a small error and losing a second and a half, maybe just a second, because Valdez might have just gained half a second on those lap times. And that's something that I believe is going to be crucial in these final 4.5 minutes. It's going to be about 3 laps to go, and he's got 3 laps, a couple of chances to try and get that lead.
Oh, no. Lambrecht spins up that McLaren. Oh, and then he went and lost the lead of the class to Joshy Taylor. Lambrecht's trying to get going. There is Taylor. Lambrecht still just about moving now. This is how that happened. And Lambrecht has just lost the lead of the Pro-Ams to Josh Taylor, and that all stems from one mistake. 4 minutes to go. Reece Bartlett still leading the AMs. He is not fighting with anybody. He doesn't need to. He's still got Garrett Kinney 4 seconds back. Britton behind that before he even gets to Eric Orchard. Thomas Weston has got his own little battle. Jerry Vanner and Aaron Smith in behind him. The lead's gone back out again now, and I'm wondering whether or not that's due to the fact that Castleman has decided to up the pace here, and we'll see who he's got. Well, Valdez now half a second slower on that last lap. So Castleman did up the pace once he'd obviously finished losing 1.5 seconds somewhere, but has now opened that gap out back out to an 8 over a second again, Olaf. Do we think now this is just Castleman turning back up the pressure to get that 1.8, 1.9 that he had originally?
I mean, it is very difficult to get the slipstream and the overtake once you're outside of those 2 or 3 tenths. He's got the second gap behind now. I do think Valdez might just be feeling the pressure, had those good laps, got up so close that he now just can't get the pace back in again. I do think Valdez on those previous laps, because you can see 42.3, 41.9, 42.2, then a 43.3. And he's only back to a 42.7. That does show that Valdez has dropped into the 43s for 1 lap. After that's happened, we can see now 41.7, fastest lap for Castleman. Now half a second down is Valdez, who's back into the 42s again. A good pace, but just not for the lead. And I do think that Castleman, 2 laps remaining, might just take the lead on this. And before we go on with anything else, might I just quickly give props to Lessa, who's up 20 places, up to 5th place now, fighting with Green, and Lessa just absolutely sending it. And currently just in 5th after a victory in race number 1.
Yeah, whoa! No, that was not Reece Bartlett. That was somebody else there who just literally launched that McLaren in the air after hitting sausage curbs. Valdez has got a slowdown. Weston's got a penalty. Weston is in pit lane. He unfortunately has got a penalty here. It be an iRacing specific penalty, not anything to do with RC, because we don't have them live. So we'll find out what he's going to do here as well. Valdez managed to get that slowdown off, but has lost a second and a half in the process. Jerry Werner has just decided that he wanted to pick up a slowdown, as has Aaron Smith in behind him. So both of these gentlemen are now fighting to get slowdowns off. It's like, you know, trying to drive the racetrack, but just a little bit slower to get rid of your slowdowns. But Lesser doing a great job, sitting in 5th at the moment. That puts him 3rd in class, which is a great job from Lesser. But Castleman now, he's just turned up that wick. It's going to be the final lap here, and can Valdez do anything, or are we looking at a Castleman win?
No, Valdez has got that slowdown that he's had to take on that previous lap. The gap's now 2.5 seconds, which is another extra second from what we saw in the previous lap. I don't think anything can happen unless Castleman is going to make a mistake, but he knows it's the final lap. The white flag has been shown. He can slow down the pace a little bit. He's got the gap. There's no need to take any risks. He's just going to drive it on home, take the win, and Valdez is going to be sitting down in 2nd place.
Absolutely. The problem is, I do wonder sometimes, though, for people when they're out in front on the final lap, they do go slower just to make sure that they can get across the line. I'm hoping that Castleman is a little bit sturdy on his emotions rather than me, who would be quaking about now, with my right foot shaking, being that I'm in the lead of a race. That doesn't happen very often. But it does look like Castleman has got this sorted out here. Into Piratella he goes for the final time. Major Castleman has done an absolute stellar job once again. He's up one place from where he started. He had a rotten race number 1. This makes up for it in race number 2. He's only got a few more corners to go here, Olaf. It's a great win for Castleman.
Yeah, and I do think we have to show some love up to the rest of the podium as well. Valdas up 5 places, had a horrible first race, up to 2nd place now. And in 3rd is Taylor in 15 places gained. That's the Pro-Am class, leader of the Pro-Am. Lambrecht holding on quite well to some positions from that 1st place down to 4th, which is quite well done. Oh, just down to 5th as Lessa gained another place, and that looks to be Lambrecht slowing down somewhere as Green is also passed. But this is our race victor for race number 2. Castleman across the line, 2 seconds is the gap behind. He did kind of slow down on that final lap as Valdas takes home 2nd place. That's Taylor in 3rd place, leader of the Pro-Ams, taking home that podium.
Here's Trey Lambrecht. Whatever happened to him, we're going to just about find out here. Oh, dude, that's sloppy. But there we go. It does happen, unfortunately, for Trey Lambrecht. That put him down 3rd in the Pro-Ams. Got jumped by Nick Green right at the end there as well. And a big shout out to Reece Bartlett. He's taken a victory in the AMS. Well done to him. Eric Orchard 2nd. And then behind that is we've got Aaron Smith. We've got Parker Enquist and Luke Edwards having a nice little ding-dong down to the line. Enquist is going to hold that inside line. He does manage to hold on as well. Timmy Wybrow, you've got a penalty, son, so I'm not quite sure what's going to happen to you in the standings. I think you're going to lose 40 seconds and possibly down a little bit more. And then, Andy Pratt. That's not how you do that at all, as he's just doing donuts out there at the moment. But Jerome Wolf has come over the line once again. There seems to be a theme in the opening 3 laps of both of these races that it was chaotic. It was carnage. They couldn't get the tyres warm. They couldn't do a lot about it either, Olaf. Is this something they've got to work on for the next round?
Well, I think some of that has to do with the standing start. Of course, with a rolling start, you have the speed already. You already have the grip. The only thing is timing, reaction speed, bump up the pedal down, and just make sure you get to the corner first. Here, it's more of a, can I keep the rear tires in the proper range? We saw a lot of smoke at both of the starts, and basically 4 wide going into that first turn. I think the standing start is something that they'll have to get used to, that they'll have to practice more and more with these cars. I feel like they have practiced the track. Some of these drivers still losing that rear tire bit by bit, that they might have expected a little bit more grip, or they might have practiced with a bit more aerodynamic on the rear end, maybe just some fuel differences. I don't know. There could be many factors that determine whether they slide or not. But I do believe that these standing starts are the cause of the carnage in the beginning. And don't get me wrong, I love the carnage. It messes up the start of the race a lot. We saw Lambrecht, one of the Pro-Ams, all the way from the last place going to 1st place, holding on to that quite long for a while, with Castleman just right behind him. And that is all due to that standing start being so chaotic, with a lot of drivers swapping places. Because like we saw in the first race, only one driver, I think it was Cookson, who went on the same place after the first lap, and the rest all shuffled around. So that carnage is mostly to do to the standing start, but hopefully they're going to keep that for the rest of the season, because that was enjoyable to watch.
Absolutely. Right, let's bring you up the results. Ladies and gentlemen, Major Castleman is your winner in pros. Valdez Vinicius, that's not how you say his name. I can't even remember how to say it, but Valdez in 2nd in the pros. Joshy Taylor takes the win in the Pro-Am. Francisco Lesser in 3rd in pros. Nick Green, Trey Lambrecht. Lambrecht's got to be kicking himself. He should have had that win wrapped up. Reece Bartlett winning the AMs with Garrett Kinney, Stuart Britton, Eric Orchard, Jerry Werner, Ian and Aaron Smith in your top 12. Then Steve Webb, Parker Enquist, Luke Edwards, who didn't climb as much as we thought. George Metakos, Carl Cookson, and Thomas Weston down out the top 18. Ian Knox, Gitano Chedere, Timmy Wybrow, Andy Pratt, Jerome Wolf, Mark Miller, and Hayden Britton. Let's see if I can pull. Now, is he going to come in for a chat? Can we have a chat with Major Castleman here as well. Major, welcome in.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Opening
It's
opening
still
win.
early in the morning. Yeah. Not too happy about it. Just I think my performance today was quite bad actually. Race 1 was questionable, and then qualifying was bad, and then I think I only won race 2 because of where I started and where I should have been relative pace wise. So overall, lots to be desired, I think.
Okay, going forward, what are you looking forward to the most then? Because we've got some tough tracks coming up. We've got Le Mans, Daytona, that's going to be at night time, Bathurst. Are any out the front four that you're looking at and going, do you know what, I'm going to go and smash them?
Le Mans and Daytona, but everything else I think will be a struggle.
Okay, mate. Well, good luck. Get the practice in. We'll hope to see you further on in the season. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go, bud?
Yeah, just want to shout out Keon Racing Team. It's the team I'm currently racing for. Super cool guys. Lots of great GT3 drivers on that team. And hoping to learn a lot from them over the coming weeks.
Okay, bud. Well, take care, fella. Have a good Sunday.
Thank you.
Right, I want to chat with Josh Taylor. Now, the question is, can I find him? There he is there, Mr. Joshy Taylor, taking a win in the Pro-Ams in race number 2. Josh, welcome in.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, you?
Oh, not bad, mate. I've just watched, I've just watched people try and get a GT3 off a line on a standing start, which turned out to be more difficult than it probably is. I've watched people struggle to get tyres up to temperature, Josh, and I've just watched you take a win in the Pro-Ams in race number 2. So not a bad Sunday so far.
Yeah, I can say my qualifying was pretty bad. I didn't get off tracks in quali, which meant that my first bad lap was what put me in 18th in the first race, and then somehow ended up in 18th again, starting in the second race, which is interesting.
Yeah, but then didn't it? We know the reverse grid is helpful, and we know that there's lots to play for with the reverse grid. And do you not think it really kind of mixes it up for all of you guys that don't have a great race 1?
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot more chances to overtake people, and you obviously slower people ahead of you, so you usually slower, not always. But it gave me a better chance, and obviously that's how I got first in class and third overall in the second race.
Well, listen, great job there, Josh. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Not that I can think of. I don't know.
All right, man. Take care, buddy. Catch up with you soon.
All right, thanks. See ya.
Bye. And the last one I do want to have a chat with is Mr. Reese Bartlett. He's only gone and wrapped up and now winning race number 2 as well. We just seen him spectacularly go through turn number 1 there. Reese, welcome in, bud.
How you doing, mate?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Yeah, surviving after the first race was a bit rough, but got it together in the second.
Dude, do you know what? Everybody's come in and said that first race was rough. But I wonder if that's two things, I wonder if, A, trying to get this car on a standing start is probably a nightmare. 2, you're not getting the tyres warmed up as quick because it's now going to take 3 laps. And 3, it's just something that you haven't all practiced, standing starts and warming up this car. Do you not think that that's the thing? Because that's been the theme in both races.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't have a clutch mapped in this thing. I've never standing started this car before. Actually jump started the first race by a couple of inches, but it didn't catch me. So I don't know. And then the excitement of all the new guys in the league and then hitting the first corner, it's been pretty sweet.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And you've taken an out win, which is great anyway. And then you got 7th overall as well, which is absolutely amazing. So fair play to you.
And unlike last season, I did manage to brake in time and hold the braking.
You did. I'm so proud of you.
Yes, I was impressed. Yeah, I'm too. My mother will be. I might ring her and call her.
Show her the video.
Yeah, mate.
Anyway, you want to shout out, buddy, before we let you go?
No, I don't like anyone in my league, so I don't need to shut them out.
Oh, Reese.
Definitely that guy Noxie. No, I mean Noxie's got his video going. Nick's got his videos going. We've got a few other guys with their YouTube channel. So everyone, all the old people seem to be picking up their YouTube careers. So good on them.
All right, mate. Take care, buddy. I'll catch you soon.
Okay, bro. See you, mate.
Oh dear, we just never know what we're going to get out of people, and that's exactly why we do interviews here as well. Olaf, I don't think it's been a bad round. Carlson seems very down on himself.
I do think everyone's been. I mean, except for Castleman. I mean, Castleman also said that his race went horribly. His first race did go very badly, but the rest of it all sounded very down. Even though they got their category wins, their class wins, which I think were all pretty good performances overall. So I mean, props to everyone driving here. Of course, difficult conditions in terms of standing start, difficult track at times as well. I do got one question for you, James. Though, who would you consider to be the driver of the day?
Oh, wow. Lesser's driving race number 2 was spectacular, right? He gained 21. But I think Garrett Kinney had a great race 1 and then battled back in race number 2. So probably Lesser or Kinney for their battling back through race number 2.
You know what? I think you're right. I think both of these drivers have done a fantastic job. Of course, Kinney starting in 17th for race number 2 means he did get that top 10 finish in race number 1, and then again for race number 2, and in the Pro-Am, beating some pros even, like Brereton only got 7 places, which means that Kinney started behind him and then overtook him as well. I think it's just a very fantastic thing to do as well. Getting up into 8th in that second race, and Lessa, of course, victory in race number 1, 4th, just barely missing out on that podium for race number 2. That's just fantastic. So my pick would have to go to Lessa, but Kinney isn't too far off now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I do fully agree. That's going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, later on, you can see myself and Jim Cunningham doing OGRL. That's in about an hour's time. And then we got IGP later on, again with myself and Mr. Tom Ken. So take care, everybody. And as always, have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Take care.